Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Sofía from La Casita de Inglés Chamberí, and welcome to another bedtime storytelling. So tonight we have 2 or 3 books, depending on how much time I have. And remember that every single day there are storytellings, different live videos, and recorded videos on the Casita de Inglés Instagram. Welcome, everybody. Hello. And so we have different things going on every day with different teachers, dancing, singing, cooking. And now that we've started our Casita de Inglés summer camp, we're going to continue with all these Instagram and YouTube goodies. So be sure to stay tuned. Hello, hi Ines, welcome. And to join whenever you can or watch the repeats afterwards and enjoy. I think the storytellings are every night at 9, and then there are just different things going on at different times. But everything stays recorded, so you can watch it whenever you can and whenever you are available. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. So just want to make sure that everyone can see me. I think the YouTube is fine. I think the Instagram is fine. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello, everybody. So happy you're here. Okay, so first book I'm going to read, same author as every Tuesday, is This Moose Belongs to Me by Oliver Jeffers. And I've never read this one, actually, so this is new to me. It just arrived, so I'm very excited. So if we are ready, I shall begin. So, this moose belongs to me. There, can you see it there? Okay, wait, can I flip it? Ah, there we go. Awesome. Okay, is this correct? Can everyone see me? Perfect. If not, just let me know. Wilfred owned a moose. He hadn't always owned a moose. The moose came to him a while ago, and he just knew that it was meant to be his. He thought he would call him Marcel. He even put a name tag on him. Let's see if I can show you. There we go. He began following Marcel, explaining the rules of how to be a good pet. Much of the time, it seemed as though the moose wasn't listening, but Wilfred knew he was, mostly because he followed rule number 4 very well. Not making too much noise while Wilfred plays his record collection. So Marcel has to be quiet. Thank you, Ines. You're so sweet. Okay. Sometimes the moose wasn't a very good pet. He generally ignored rule number 7, going whichever way Wilfred wants to go. The moose had a very good sense of direction, and Wilfred did not. And because the moose was particularly poor on rule 7, subsection B, maintaining a certain proximity to home, Wilfred quickly learned to bring some string along on their outings so he could find his way back again. So here's Wilfred, and here's Marcel. Wait, I want to make sure that you can see the whole thing. I know the YouTubers can, but there we go. Sometimes the moose was an excellent pet. He had no trouble with Rule 11, providing shelter from the rain. Or Rule 16, knocking down things that are out of Wilfred's reach, like getting him apples and protecting him from the rain. One day, as Wilfred discussed their plans for the coming year on a particularly long walk, he made a terrible discovery. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Someone else thought they owned the moose. Rodrigo, you're back! Wilfred was dumbstruck. This moose was Marcel, not Rodrigo. The old lady was mistaken, and Wilfred thought it only proper that he correct her. Excuse me, this moose belongs to me, he explained to the old lady. Hello, thank you for joining. Welcome. And to prove it, he called Marcel. Heel! But the moose did not respond. He seemed more interested in the old lady. Good, Rodrigo. It seems like Marcel likes apples. Embarrassed and enraged, Wilfred rushed off for home. But in his haste and miles from anywhere, he tripped over his string and got all tangled up. Right there. And there he lay. Wilfred was beginning to get a little bit worried. It was past his home time now, and the monsters would be out soon. He's all tangled up. All tangled up, and it's nighttime, so he probably needs to be rescued. He had just ruled out the last of his options when along came the moose. He thought of the penguin, he thought of the bear, he thought of the saw, of the hammer. Remember things from the different story we read, I guess it was a few weeks ago, and all those items were in there. And performed Rule 73 brilliantly, rescuing your owner from a perilous situation. There goes Marcel carrying Wilfred back home on his antlers. All was forgiven, and perhaps, Fred admitted, he'd never really owned the moose anyway. The moose was supposed to be free and live in the wild. With that in mind, he and the moose reached a compromise. The moose would agree to all of Wilfred's rules, whenever it suited him. Along he goes. Dominic, you're back, and you brought me an apple. The end. It seems like this moose had a lot of owners, different owners, not just Wilfred. There was an old lady, there was a man. I think he went with whoever he thought suited him. So that's the end of that story. And I have story number 2, which is a classic, a classic one from a long, long time ago. You've probably read it before. It's called The 3 Little Pigs. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Thank you. Hello, welcome everybody. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who got bigger and bigger. Those little pigs got so big that they couldn't stay at home. They needed houses of their own. So they said goodbye to Mommy Pig and set off down the road. The first little pig built his house of straw, and as soon as it was finished, the big bad wolf knocked on the door. Little pig, let me in, he said. No, said the little pig, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. There's the big bad wolf and the house of straw. Let's see. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, said the wolf. And that's exactly what he did. He huffed and puffed. The little pig's weeny straw house just fell to pieces. Luckily, the little pig escaped and ran to his brother's house. The second little pig had built his house of sticks. There he is running to his brother's house. Soon along came the big bad wolf. Little pigs, let me come in, he shouted. No, said the little pigs, not by the hairs of our chinny chin chins. There they are, hiding from the big bad wolf. And they have, wait, it's on this side. They have their sign, no wolves and monsters allowed. Then I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, roared the wolf. And that's just what he did. He huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, and the rickety-clickety house of sticks just tumbled to the ground. The house is completely destroyed. Luckily, the clever pigs had run out the back door. They ran all the way down the road to their sister's house. She had built her house of bricks. Come in quickly, she said. Sit by the fire and get warm. Her house, I think, is a lot stronger. It's not straw and it's not sticks. It's made of bricks. Before long, the big bad wolf came along. Little pigs, let me come in, he bellowed. No, cried the little pigs, not theirs of our chinny chin chins. They're drinking tea by the fire. Do you think the house is going to hold up? Let's see. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, thundered the wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed some more. But no matter how he huffed and how he puffed, he could not budge that strong and sturdy house of bricks. I'll get those pigs, said the wolf. I'll climb down the chimney. The wolf zipped down the chimney and landed on him first in the fire. Ow, 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 he cried. He ran out of the door and down the river to bathe his burnt bottom. He never, ever, ever came back. The three little pigs lived happily ever after, safe and sound in their sturdy house of bricks. The end. So if you're going to build a house, it better be of bricks because straw and sticks can't keep the wolf away. And our last story is this one. It's a favorite, and this one, Inez, it's a really old story. The Three Little Pigs is super, super old. And this one is really old. Like, it was written before, I think, my mom was born. I think it was like 1947. That's a really, really, really long time ago. But it's such a special book that it's still around, and our kids at La Casita love it and take it home all the time. So, ready? Good night, moon. Let's see, this one's bigger. Let's see if we can see it. There we go. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of a cow jumping over the moon. And there were three little bears sitting in chairs. And two little kittens and a pair of mittens. And a little toy hat and a young mouse. There's a mouse, you can barely see him. He's tiny. And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, hush. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Do you say good night to everything in your room before you go to sleep? I think I should do that. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering, hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. Good night. The end. So you guys, that's a quick story, but it's one of my favorites before bedtime. I hope you like them. 3 fast stories, but hopefully you'll sleep a lot better after them. So I'm going to say goodnight to everyone that's going to sleep. I hope to see you next Tuesday. We'll have more stories, and hopefully we can see each other soon. Now that we're seeing some kids at La Casita, I'm really happy because I can finally be with kids again. Remember that there are things going on every single day on YouTube, on Instagram, and at the physical casitas. So make sure to stay tuned to see that. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night. Thank you for those emojis and those comments, Inez. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely night. Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. Bye, guys. Good night.